NBA Seeing the Futures. Taking a look at some future bets now that Summer League has come to an end. Very sad. So guys, the Kings were crowned Summer League champs after defeating the Celtics on Tuesday night, and it was largely due to their 9th overall pick, Davion Mitchell. He and the Nets' 27th overall pick, Cam Thomas, were named co-MVPs of Summer League. So let's start by taking a look at Mitchell. Right now on the DK Sportsbook, the Sacramento guard is plus 1,800 to win Rookie of the Year. Kenny, does this bet intrigue you at all?
Not really. I mean, look, Davion Mitchell is talented. There's a reason why he went in the top 10, but, draft evaluators were really expecting him to not go in the top 10. He was actually slipping a little bit with the stock. I just don't think that there's going to be enough shots to go around. But look, if I'm going to take a shot on one guy that's at plus odds here and it's not Alperen Sengun, it's probably Davion Mitchell, just because, look, it's the Kings at the end of the day, man. You don't know what their rotation's going to look like. You have, plenty of injuries every year. Luke Walton doesn't really have a good hold on that team. I think anything could happen when it comes to the Kings. So sure, I think Davion Mitchell could manage to get 25 minutes a game. It could certainly happen, but I think it's pretty unlikely. I think I'd rather spend my, my lunch money elsewhere.
How do we feel about this, Nick?
I think I feel the same way. I mean, he has some momentum coming out of Summer League, being named the co-MVP. Obviously a guy that fans are familiar with from his play at the college level, leading Baylor to the national championship. But I think he could have a really good season and still not win Rookie of the Year. Like, is he really going to do better than what Tyrese Halliburton did for the Kings last year, which seemed like pretty much a best case scenario? And he still finished, I think, second or third in Rookie of the Year voting. You have Cade Cunningham, who's kind of already like a mega star. He's the incumbent. He has to play his way out of Rookie of the Year. Jalen Green looked great in Summer League. You have Jalen Suggs, who's going to be in a great position in Orlando to put up big stats. Obviously, there's Evan Mobley as well. So it's not really about what Davion Mitchell won't or will do. It's more about having 4 big name guys ahead of him who he has to outplay all those guys. And to me, that seems pretty unlikely.
Yeah, okay, so Cam Thomas, he led all Summer League scorers with 27 points per game. For Brooklyn, his odds are obviously much longer at plus 4,500 to win Rookie of the Year. Probably because, he's on a team with Durant, Harden, Kyrie. So after what we saw in Summer League, do you think he could be a legit piece in Brooklyn next season, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, he's not somebody I would consider for Rookie of the Year at all. I think those odds make sense. I'm glad they weren't bumped up, and despite him playing really well in Summer League. I'm not sure what to expect in year one. I mean, you mentioned the 3 stars. They have Patty Mills as well. They brought back Bruce Brown. They have Joe Harris. So you're looking like best case scenario. I mean, Cam Thomas is like your 7th or 8th man. I think they're going to work him in. I think, if and when Kyrie misses 15 to 20 games, if and when James Harden tweaks his hamstring, that's when we're going to see Cam Thomas, come in and maybe have nights where he plays 25, 30 minutes in these kind of throwaway games for the Nets, because, they're focused on getting one of the top 2 or 3 seeds in the East and just being healthy for the playoffs. I think they're going to have a relatively short leash with him just because they are so deep. But every now and then, a situation is going to arise where a couple of those guys are out, and we're going to get to see, the Cam Thomas show on full display. That's when you're going to want to plug him in to your DraftKings lineup when he's going to be priced at like $4,100. All
right, so Kenny, do we think he could be a legit piece in Brooklyn next season despite all the stars on this team?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, look, this is technically a deep team in the sense that they have 14 playable players. But when you look at it, I mean, I just think he's kind of buried. Tyler Johnson is technically ahead of him on the depth chart. They brought in a veteran in DeAndre Bembry, who I think is pretty talented. They did also brought in Javon Carter. This is and Bruce Brown, right, got meaningful minutes last year in the postseason. They obviously like Bruce Brown, TLC. They put him in for meaningful minutes as well. I just think that he's too buried here. Even if there's a night where, Kyrie, Harden, and Durant all don't play, he's still going to be on the bench. I don't think he's ever going to elevate to the starting lineup, at least not this year. He's talented. I think that he could definitely be a really key role player for the Nets, maybe even as soon as, a couple years from now. But in his rookie season, I think they're going to take I mean, Nick Claxton was a guy that Nets fans were really excited about. A lot of people were really excited about him. And it took him all season to get into that starting lineup or even just to get big minutes. And the Nets didn't even have any big men. DeAndre Jordan was the only guy holding him back for minutes. DeAndre Jordan stunk last year, and he still started over Nick Claxton. I think it's going to be a really slow process getting Cam Thomas into the lineup. They obviously want to take their time developing him. They're not in a rush. You don't need to just throw him in the starting lineup because they have so many stars. So I don't think he's going to win Rookie of the Year, and I don't think he's going to be much of a factor this year. But again, a lot of momentum, and he's really good. So bright future for him, I think.
Let's move on to a couple markets just posted on the DK Sportsbook this week. So team win totals are up for the 2021-2022 season. Kenny, which one stands out to you the most?
Well, one of my favorite teams last year, they gave the Jazz a really good run. It's the Memphis Grizzlies, and their total is kind of low, 41.5 games. I think that they can go over that. I think that this is going to be a pretty solid playoff team. They bring in Eric Bledsoe, one of my longtime favorite players. Hasn't been the best few years for Eric Bledsoe, but I think that in his role now, maybe coming off the bench, I think he's going to really pack a punch in unit. You've got Dylan Brooks, who is coming off a good year. And really, this is a team that didn't have John Morant for a long stretch. They didn't have Jaren Jackson Jr. This is a team that's going to be, backloaded, and healthy, you would think, for this season with Jaren Jackson Jr. perhaps playing a full year. And Steven Adams comes in. Steven Adams is one of the best rebounders we have in the game right now. He was the big reason why the Pelicans were number one in rebounding last year. Just great toughness inside. He's not really like a good poster, but he's tough, man. He banks down there. He gets rebounds. He plays good defense. I think him and Eric Bledsoe are going to bring a renewed confidence to this team, which is pretty deep. And I think that they can really make a run here. I think they're going to make the playoffs. And 41.5 games, a little disrespectful given the season that the Grizzlies just had.
Nick, which team win total stands out the most to you?
Yeah, there are a few. Chicago at 42.5 is interesting, and the fact that it's shaded toward the under in terms of when you look at the odds, minus 115 toward the under, minus 105 toward the over. Obviously, there's a lot of positive momentum with the Bulls bringing in Lonzo, bringing in DeMar DeRozan. A lot of people are excited about that team. It looks like the odds makers maybe aren't quite as optimistic, so that's going to be an interesting one to track. And then there's two more. The New Orleans Pelicans, 39.5, a team that's wildly underachieved each of the last 2 years. I think they got significantly worse this offseason around Zion and around Brandon Ingram. This is a team that, the over-under's been set like 5 or 6 games too high the last 2 years just because everybody loves Zion and wants this team to play well, but I don't think they're going to play well. I think the West is really deep, and they're going to be probably a bottom 4 or 5 team in the conference once again. And then the other one, Kenny Ducey's New York Knicks, 42.5 is the number, and this one is heavily shaded toward the under, minus 120. This is a team that finished 10 games over 500 last year. They bring back virtually everybody. They add Kemba Walker. I don't know. I don't know what to think about this. I'd be interested to hear Kenny's take on why the New York Knicks are apparently going to regress.
Yeah, Kenny.
I think the Knicks are going to lose on Christmas Day. So, I don't know. I'm pretty pessimistic about my Knicks. I think it was tough in the postseason for them.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, the NBA also announced the season is going to start on Tuesday, October 19th. Game lines are up for the first few days as well as games on Christmas Day. Kenny, which lines jump out at you the most, and do you really think the Knicks are going to lose on Christmas Day?
Yeah, this is pretty intriguing. The Knicks have a history of losing on Christmas Day. Plus, to lose the Hawks, they had the better of them in the postseason last year. So I think that this is going to be a struggle. I think that the Knicks are pretty well equipped to have a good year to make the playoffs, but the Hawks are just a more talented offensive team. I think that they take this one.
All right, Nick, what do you think?
I'm going to go opening night. Nets at Bucks is a pickup right now. And I think, the Nets, pretty much everybody on the roster, including Spencer Dinwiddie, who's now on the Wizards, has come out and said, if we were healthy, we would have beat Milwaukee, we would have won the title. And I feel that way. I think most people who know basketball probably feel that way. So I'm surprised that Brooklyn, assuming everybody's healthy, isn't favored in this game. And, teams, it's going to be ring night, banner night for Milwaukee. Maybe you don't always get your A1 effort on a night like that when you're kind of celebrating the previous season. I'm just surprised that Brooklyn hasn't opened up as a slight favorite here.